The Vikings ride a 4-game win streak into the bye, and clearly we're not in Minneapolis anymore. We're on the set of NFL Total Access on NFL Network, and I've got David Carr standing next to me. This is obviously your home. Thank you so much for letting us take a joyride.
Enjoy the sunshine while you're out here. Nice
you know, it is 20 back home, so we're excited to be in this heat right now. But we got to talk about this Vikings team. Out to a hot start. Kevin O'Connell in his first year as head coach. How would you grade his coaching performance so far?
Well, I know this is a Minnesota Vikings network, but A+. He's really done a fantastic job. A lot of times it's hard, like as you come in as a new play caller. So he has the head coaching responsibilities to worry about, play calling, situational stuff, and he's nailed it. Like he's gotten every one of those situations right. That's really hard to do. That's one of the things that I get concerned about when I see a new coach come in. Is he going to be able to call plays at the level that he was able to call plays before? Is he going to be able to handle the situations? That's tough, and he's done a fantastic job. So hats off to him for being able to kind of just get that thing going off right at the jump. I mean, he hasn't had to wait at all, so great job by him.
Goes back to his relationship with Kirk Cousins,
I think so.
Perhaps. And watching Kirk come out, it might be one of his worst statistical starts, but it's his best start of his career if you look at the record. So how do you think the two of them are meshing so well, or why do you think they're meshing so well?
Well, I think all the success that Kevin's been able to have is because he has a quarterback that he trusts, and vice versa. So if you have a quarterback that really believes that you're going to put him in the best position, he's not going to force the issue. Although his numbers might not be what they've been in the past, they're finding ways to win football games. And at the end of the day, that's all you really want from Kirk anyway, right? That's all we ever talk about. Oh, he puts up great numbers, but he doesn't win the big games, or he doesn't win the games, or he doesn't win enough games. And right now, he's in first place. So there's no complaints. Of course, they would want to maybe produce better, but that's a great feeling to be in a situation where you're in first place, you're winning the football games that are close, but then you're not even playing your best football yet. So I think that's going to be something that they kind of lean on as you look at this bye week. All right, how do we progress? How do we get better? It's nice to have those 5 wins in your back pocket as you're trying to move forward as a football team.
You mentioned the bye week. How can the Vikings win this week without a game?
Well, so you self-scout a lot. You look at what you've done well. I think the only times that I ever see them really get in trouble is maybe when Justin Jefferson, although they do a great job moving him around, maybe like you think about the Philadelphia game, they had a pretty good plan for him. You need Adam Thielen to kind of show up there, or someone else, or the run game to really kind of kick off. So I think Kevin will look at that and say, you know, people are going to eventually get a beat. That's the other thing. As a new play caller, these first 5 or 6 weeks, there's a lot of film out on you now, right? So people know where Justin likes to line up. They know what you like to do. So show those same looks and then just have plays off of that. That'll kind of propel you forward. So then you got a big catalog of stuff as the season wraps up that you can kind of pull from and say, hey, you know what, you can't just single in on where Justin's going to be. You can't single in on our run game and we're going to run these certain amount of plays. We got a whole gamut of things that we can get to, and we got an experienced quarterback that can get us into those plays.
Coach O'Connell also said that he's seen some defenses that he hasn't seen on film, things that he gets in the game he didn't know were coming.
That's a good thing.
Why so?
It is, because I think that if you get in a situation where you're getting these defenses that are kind of off the cuff, something you don't really see on film, that just means you're doing some really good things on offense, right? So you're putting a lot of pressure on these defenses, because a lot of times they'll just cookie cut it. They'll say, okay, this was successful against O'Connell, this was successful against Minnesota, and then the next defense coordinator just does the same thing, right? But if you start to get new things every week, it means no one's figured you out yet. Like they're just scratching and clawing, digging into the Rolodex, saying, how do we slow this team down? How do we stop the outside zone with Dalvin? How do we stop the play action pass? How do we find out where Justin Jefferson is? How do we double him when he's in these tight splits? That's a good problem to have. So hopefully you keep getting a lot of different looks, and he just has to adapt.
Hopefully so. Well, the NFL Power Rankings came out today. Minnesota in 4th.
That's pretty high.
Do you agree with what came out, and why or why not?
You're only as good as your record. Bill Parcells always says, right? You're way up there. And I think that if it was a situation where they were up in the top 5 and you didn't have a veteran quarterback, you didn't have a play caller that he trusts, maybe I'd get a little nervous that, okay, maybe this is a little bit of fool's gold. But I really think that this is a good football team. This has been a team that historically in the last couple of years with Kirk, they've moved the football up and down the field. They've had some tough losses. Like, you guys have been through it, right? I know some Minnesota Viking fans that are actually here in this building. You guys have been through a lot. It's been tough, right? I think this might be the time where you find a way to get over that hump. You find a way with the continuity between the coach and the quarterback and that play calling system with Justin Jefferson and those guys to finally get over the hump. So I'm fine with them being in the top 5.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to go Bills, Eagles, Chiefs, then Vikes in the rankings.
Okay.
What does this team have to do in the next few weeks to prove to you they definitely deserve that higher power ranking?
Well, I think the consistency thing is something that you look for throughout the entire course of the season. I still think, going back to my previous point, Adam Thielen has historically been a fantastic player for you guys. Whoever that number 2 guy is, someone needs to step up opposite of Justin Jefferson, not just the run game. And it could be a group of people, right? But I think that you just need to get more production. We talked about Kirk Cousins. Maybe his production's not where it needs to be. I think that there's a feeling on the positive that inside that building at this bye, they're not really worried about the fact that they're in first place. They're trying to find ways to get better and trying to find things that they can do, like what we just talked about, find ways to move this offense forward. I think that there's still a ways to go with them. That's the cool part is I like what I've seen so far, but they can even play better. And then, hopefully at the end of the season, they're right there battling for a division title. Yeah,
it doesn't really matter how you're playing right now if you're not playing well by the end of the year. And there are still several games left to play. But thank you so much to NFL Network's David Carr for allowing us to be here on Total Access, doing these interviews and getting your insight. Appreciate you.
No problem.